Hi. I don't know where you are, what time it is, how you're thinking, feeling, doing in the moment that you're hearing me speak. But what I know is perhaps like me, you've had back-to-back meetings and not much time to breathe, let alone think about hydrating or strategically refueling. And so I invite you. It is not by chance that we're meeting now and you're watching this either live or recording. I am not going to make this video long. In fact, it is my intention to keep it less than 5 minutes and to ask you to gift yourself this time to connect with yourself. Why? Because our inherent mode is to be joyful and connected, and many of us are very tired, very exhausted, very stressed. I've had 3 different meetings with different clients today, all speaking about, well, not exactly burnout per se, because we often think of burnout as something that happens once you're incredibly sick and you're booked off work. There's a scale, right, of that exhaustion, but it's just a simple loss of joie de vivre, which is so easy when we're living in our homes, which are also our schools and our playgrounds and our kitchens and our bistros. And I spoke about this in my live last week. So, what I'd like to do is give you this opportunity to sit back, to reflect on a reflective question, to reflect on an insightful question, and I'm going to share something to help lift your mood. If it works, great. If it doesn't, at least you would have taken a little break for yourself. So, how are you feeling? There's so many analogies around energy and burnout, and we understand that we need to charge our laptops and these devices. And if we don't charge them, they go flat. So are you charging yourself enough? Because it isn't enough just to charge at night anymore. We need to charge ourselves, give ourselves regular little micro bursts of charging because of all the energy depleting activities that so many of us have during the day that drain us. Another analogy could be, is your bucket full? So are you putting in enough fluid to make up for all the things where you're draining fluid out, draining physical energy, mental energy, emotional energy? It's not all bad. I mean, work needs to take energy from us, right? It's bad when we just put out, put out. It's like withdrawing money out of an account and never putting back. Or maybe it's a bit like a fire. Like, if we think about burnout, if you want to avoid that, we've got to stop living and acting like we are on fire. And I am the first one to admit that I tend to do that. I can push myself really hard, and I've paid that price. So, do you have a raging fire that potentially could actually damage the environment that you're in and others around you? Has your flame maybe gone out? Or is it the soft, gentle flame that's just got the right balance of heat and oxygen feeding it? So, whatever analogy you use, how are you today? The question I want to ask you is, what's made you smile today? What's made you smile? And if nothing has made you smile, what would make you smile? What could make you smile? The imagination is a very powerful tool that even when things aren't really working out as we'd like, if we just imagine or lean towards a certain intention or outcome, we can actually cultivate that quality that could help. Because when we start feeling a sense of smile or joy, or even a very, I'm not talking about ecstatic excitement, which is great, even just a quiet contentment while you're taking a step back and thinking of something outside the window. Like I just looked up and saw a flock of birds go past, which is lovely, right? And how many of those moments have you had in your day? We need to cultivate more of them because of the fact that we're so stressed. So, one of the things that is my kind of pick me up, and it's useful if you have your pick me ups, what helps you to smile rather than leave it to chance, maybe on a post it note or a little index card where you keep close by, especially where you work. So, right now, I'm assuming you might be at the place where you often work. If you look around, what makes you smile? And if you can't mention at least 3 things that make you smile, think about what you could bring into your environment. The video that I did last week spoke about a lovely TED talk around finding joy and how it naturally resides. And I also did a masterclass on this topic last month. One of my pick me ups is poetry. So when I'm feeling stressed out, I'm getting pulled down that, I don't know, stress cycle. I've got 1 or 2 of my favorite poetry books. I don't leave them on my bookshelf anymore. I keep them close at hand. And I'd like to share a poem with you. So I don't know when the last time was you had somebody read you a poem, but sit back, perhaps soften your gaze so that you're not tempted to be distracted. It's a short poem. but lifting. It is titled "Why I Smile" by Kate Slaughter McKinney. I smile because the world is fair, because the sky is blue, because I find, no matter where I go, a friend is true. I smile because the earth is green, the sun so near and bright, because the days that over us lean are full of warmth and light. I smile as past the yards I go, through strange and new the place. The violets seem my step to know, and look up in my face, I smile to hear the robin's note. He comes so newly dressed, a love song throbbing in his throat, a rose pinned on his breast, and so the truth I'll not disown, because the spring is nigh, my heart has somewhat better grown, and I forget to sigh. So many messages there about how we only have to look at the horizon to notice colors and shapes and creatures that can make us smile. I hope that's lifted your mood. If you would like to create a joy board for yourself and get taken through an activity where you can actually create your pick me ups mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and if you want to learn how to manage your flame so that it's just right, it doesn't rage too much or go out, please come along and join me in my masterclass next week. If you register and you can't attend live, you'll get sent the recording and any of the handouts. This is a really important topic, and I'd like to help you to sustain your joy and be able to also pass that on to those that you care about. I hope you get many more opportunities to smile today. Sante.